What's up, guys? Today we're reacting to a video that's called Fortnite Sprite Situation is Getting Worse. It's by Top 5 Gaming, and I think this is a good video. Let's watch it.
Fortnite sprites could get deleted in 1 month, and with the clock ticking until next season, a decision has to be made. So how do we go from the most loved feature in years to people dreading new updates? Sprites are currently at an all-time low. Fans are burnt out, and with all progress possibly being reset.
Wait, all progress is getting reset? No way, right? They should just add new sprites every season.
Let's explore the downfall of sprites and answer if that's really happening. Because 6 weeks ago, people couldn't get enough of sprites. The headlining feature of Season 3, the big change that Fortnite were banking on to bring millions of players back to the game. Every poster, every advertisement, it was all designed around sprites, and Epic wanted us to know exactly how important these guys would be to Fortnite's success. Because what used to be a throwaway item in previous chapters was now a fully fledged extraction feature inspired by Arc Raiders and Steal a Brainrot. A pretty surprising
Bro, did he just say Steal a Brainrot?
update at first. Collect the sprites, add them to your collection, and now go out there and find more of them. It was addictive. We finally had a reason to jump back into another game. A reason to tell our friends, okay, just one more match. Because what if you found a rare one this time? After all, you could find the same sprite you already own, but this time it'd be different. Like Steal a Brainrot or other
Bro, who still plays this game? Let's actually be serious.
addictive games taking over the world, sprites now had variants, something that would be a complete game changer. At the start it was simple, we only had gold versions, but even something as simple as this lit a fire under
Yeah, do you guys remember when this gold versions of sprites were so rare? Like, I used to get so happy when I got one.
us. Now, it wasn't enough just to get a rare sprite, you had to beat everyone else and get the gold version of it too.
Oh my god! A gold water sprite! No way, that's my first gold one!
Not to mention, you could find an insanely rare sprite and no one would even believe you got it, leading to everyone posting YouTube videos of their finds. Season 3 was officially working as intended. Was Fortnite finally making its comeback after so long? Well, at that
I feel like Fortnite did make his comeback. What do you guys think?
time, no one was even focused on that question. Everyone was so much more worried about becoming the greatest collector in the world. You see, adding gold variants doesn't sound so bad at first, but when you add them to what's already an insanely rare sprite, Fortnite created an impossible task. The 0 sprite was considered to be a status symbol of its own. Players didn't even know if this was in the game or not because it took days to even catch a glimpse that it existed.
You guys remember that one guy got, like, what's it called again? He got, like, DDoSed just for him not sharing his sprites or something?
Sightings of it on social media blew up. Just the fact that you got a base level 0 sprite was enough to make you viral. It's like spotting Bigfoot in the wild or something. And when it came to gold variants of it, keep dreaming. The odds of finding that were over 1 in 100 million. And Epic's own employees had to tell us on social media the second someone found it. Because on June 6, only one single person on the entire planet had picked up the mythical gold 0 sprite, and we had no idea who it was. The mystery player had achieved something that not a single YouTuber, pro player, or even Epic employee had been able to. To this day, we don't know who this was, and it added to the mystery of sprites even more. This feature was officially a huge success. It's the exact reason why Fortnite added sprites in the first place. The same reason why people play Pokemon or Steal a Brainrot. They want to collect.
Why does this guy keep saying Steal a Brainrot, bro? Like, we are not all brain rotted.
Every single creature and brag about it to their friends. And that is when everything changed. In full brainrot fashion, Fortnite reinvented the whole idea of a power hour. These have been around since the start of Chapter 7, but no one really cared about them that much. Everything changed this time though when power hours officially became Sprite Central. For an hour or two every single week, they would boost the chances of the rarest sprites in the game, making it a complete Wild West that
Yeah, I actually like that because I got so many sprites from the sprite hours or shiny hours. What are you watching? We're watching this video. Fortnite Sprite Situation is Getting Worse by Top 5 Gaming.
you couldn't afford to miss. This tactic was exactly what led to games like Steal a Brainrot becoming overnight hits. And the main reason they did so well was because of weekly events where you could get the rarest items. So if you couldn't show up, you'd fall behind your friends who were now busy celebrating.
Yeah, I know I was like so behind on getting sprites, but then I think it was Red. Red gave me so many sprites. It's
the
nutty.
new sprites while you sat there and struggled to get anything good. Power Hours were now pulling in millions of players for Fortnite, and while this sounded like incredible news, it would eventually be the spark that caused the downfall of sprites.
Actually, the first power was Chapter 6, Season 4. Wait, actually?
Something that had already started to worry fans when the cracks started showing early on. Because the very first sign that Fortnite might mess this up happened just weeks into the new season when they dropped their most controversial sprite to date. Now, you could find the burnt peanut in Fortnite. In
The burnt PP sprite.
the weeks leading up to this, fans had already learned so much about this YouTuber. Clips of him saying offensive words were shared online, his controversial stream titles were being put on blast, and overall, the community just weren't happy with the first collab sprite being someone who doesn't play Fortnite. Not only
Wait, is it actually a sprite based off of him? I thought they were just making a peanut sprite.
does he barely play the game, but when his sprite came out, the season was already a few weeks old, and the burnt peanut didn't even know how his own collab worked.
Oh. What's he put him in that box for?
He was now the center of a huge boycott, with people telling Fortnite they wouldn't support a collab with such a controversial guy. What made it even worse is how Fortnite made him one
That's
of the
crazy.
rarest sprites in the game at that time, and it immediately led to one of the most worrying parts of Season 3, when the internet sellers came knocking. Because when copying games like Steal a Brain Rot, Fortnite forgot about one of its biggest problems.
Why does
Kids
this guy keep saying Steal a Brain Drop, bro? Just let us watch a video.
getting scammed online. By making a feature like sprites, they didn't stop to consider just how far people were willing to go to flex it on their friends. Within hours, listings showed up on Facebook Marketplace, eBay, and sketchy websites promising to give you sprites like the burnt peanut in return for real money. A feature that was meant to be free had now become a black market. The rarest sprites were now costing anywhere from $5 to $20, and it
$20 for a sprite is crazy.
was extremely shady. You had to cough up your money first, and then hope the seller would join a Fortnite lobby with you, drop the sprite, and let you have it. Not to mention, you still had to extract with the sprite you'd already paid for, and if you died, no refunds. And that's
No refunds if you died? That's crazy.
assuming the seller even had the sprite, because 50% of the time, it was a complete scam.
Getting scammed for some pixels on a screen is crazy.
This is what happens when you create a system where casual players have basically no chance of getting the items they want. Even with the power hours, things like the 0-point sprite were still just too rare for most people to earn. You had to be lucky enough to find one. It's not like you would bump into another player with it on their back. It was too rare to actually bring into matches.
Why do people not just bring it in matches? Like, you can buy it back.
So you can see why people turn to the black market and spend real money on them, especially kids that just want to flex to their friend. And here's the problem that we all had to deal with. Sprites as a whole don't work unless you have super rare ones that make you want to play the game over and over again. But then, when people started selling them for real money, it also completely ruins the point of finding them. So, Epic starts boosting the odds of some of the rarest sprites in the game, which crashes the market, but also making it way less exciting to hunt down these things. So to fix that, they need to re-add another insanely rare sprite, which ends up on eBay 24 hours later, and boom, the cycle continues. So many streamers around the world were starting to see this problem, and even started begging Epic with their own solutions.
Epic Games, Down on Mustard, Tim Sweeney, if you're listening, you need to introduce a sprite that cannot be traded, right?
I'm sorry, what is this bullshit? Sprites are supposed to be traded. Like, what?
Implement 1,000 of them into the game, and only 1,000 people can have it.
That's the whole point of sprites. To get the community to come together. Like, what?
Right? That would create some value on these sprites.
To this day, Epic has never created sprites that were impossible to sell, and it led to one of the most toxic days of Season 3, with the most unexpected
yeah.
victim being Nick A30. You see, if you got a system based on luck and you want to outsmart it, you have to come up with ways to get sprites through skill instead. So, how do you do that? Well, Nick thought of a genius way to save time. When you load into a match, find someone on Starter Island with an insane sprite, and then follow them off the bus.
That's him! That's him! He's got it! I see it! Oh my gosh! There's no way. That's a rare sprite, guys. I've not unlocked that one yet. I just need a weapon. He's in there. He's stuck. He's dead. He's dead! Yes! Look! Oh my god!
Despite being a perfectly good strategy, and the whole reason why bringing sprites into your lobbies is a risk, this resulted in Nick30 finding himself in the middle of a witch hunt. Fans from around the world started going after him for this, thinking it was an unfair way to play Fortnite or ruin the whole charm of finding sprites yourself. What Nick did wasn't a problem. The real problem was how many people now knew about this strategy. Since this day, millions of players now took it upon themselves to become the ultimate battle bus campers. Spread throughout the
Battle Bus Campers. What is that name, bro?
whole game, and it turned into one of the most toxic metas out there. And after all that, it turned out it wouldn't even matter. You see, players are slowly realizing that no matter how much effort they put into finding the rarest sprites in the game, it would turn out to be all for nothing. Because with new sprites and variants being released every single week, what was considered the rarest was old news and outdated real fast.
Yeah, that was kind of true. And they should have made it like every single 2 weeks. Wait, every 2 weeks. What am I saying?
You could spend all week trying to get a single sprite, and within a day, no one would care what you got because everyone's now looking for the next best thing. Not to mention, the older a sprite becomes, the more epic boosts its odds and makes it easier to find than ever. And this cycle kind of left a bad taste in people's mouths. Why play the game this much and give Fortnite all your time just to be unfulfilled? Well, Epic actually had an answer for this. It's because they had locked cosmetics behind it. This was the start of the downfall, a system that turned sprites from just being a fun gimmick that lets you show off to your friends to a collection you had to build if you wanted the free stuff. With a new sprite every week, that barrier for entry was getting bigger and bigger. And with the Sprite Mastery Quest, you no longer had to max out a handful of sprites, you were now needing to max out hundreds of them. When you hit your ceiling and ran out of all the easy ones to find, you're not forced to track down some of the rarest in the game to keep earning those free back blings and edit styles for the Battle Pass skin. It felt like you were running a marathon, but when you got near the finish line, it would just move further down the road, like every single week. Every time you thought you were getting close to a great collection, Fortnite were dropping more sprites on you.
Yeah.
Not only that, but more variants meant there was now a new version of every single sprite in the game, adding dozens more to find overnight. So yes, 6 weeks ago, people couldn't get enough of sprites, but now they're starting to realize they could get enough. In fact, it's all starting to get a little too overwhelming.
Nah, I still like getting every single sprite.
Before, everyone was hunting for the 0-point sprite or the burnt peanut.
If there was
Now
no
the list
cosmetic, I
gives
would not
you
collect
a
sprites.
headache. Because you're telling
I've actually
me
never
there are
used that skin.
70 sprites that have less than a 0.3% chance of spawning. There are more mythics and specials out there that you'll just never find in the wild than there are regular sprites.
Yeah, I don't think I found any 0-point sprite myself. Or the Grim sprite. Just got it from people.
And little did we know, it would just keep getting worse. It wasn't just cracks in the system anymore, the downfall had officially begun. As each week, the updates are starting to get less unique and interesting. With most players now having a decent collection of sprites, they were forced to look for rare variants to add even more to their locker, and the only way to do that was to show up to power hours for those boosted odds. Yet Fortnite weren't really doing anything new with these hours, it was the same thing every week. If you failed to get the ones you needed in these 2 hours, you've just wasted your time, and you have to wait an entire week to try again. So to try and spice it up, they introduced Mastery Mondays. They sounded cool at first, the whole day where legendary and mythics were more common, and you can level up
Wait, Mastery Monday is not to get sprites leveled up faster?
sprites twice as fast, but
Oh, he just said it.
that was it. We're now on our 8th Mastery Monday in a row, and just like the Power Hours, it's been the exact same perks and buffs every single time. Steela Brainrot pulled off this
Are we serious? What does this guy have with Stealer Brainer, bro?
weekly event thing way better because they had themes and introduced new items live. They even had event exclusive ones. Whereas Fortnite is just rerunning the same thing every week with nothing interesting. Wouldn't it be so much better if Fortnite did live events, you know, the thing they invented, where they spawn super rare and exclusive sprites in 30% of lobbies every week? It just felt like Epic were spending more time throwing 100 sprites at us without actually thinking about how to make them fun to collect. In the early days of Season 3, there were actually some really unique ways to go about it. You could kick a soccer ball into a net to spawn a striker sprite, or wipe out a boss for a boss sprite.
Yeah,
then they
you should
started
shut up
dropping
about
new ones,
Stealer
and
Brainer.
most of them were exclusive to a relic chest. And who wants to sit there and just open chests over and over again like it's a loot crate, especially when you have such cool themes like a Vinny Jr. sprite or Poyo? And even that was beginning
that's
to be a
cooler.
huge problem. We all thought the burnt peanut was a one-off thing, and his haters are pretty glad he was just gonna be a sprite and not something you had to give him money for. Then, other creators started being turned into sprites too, and it quickly dawned on us that Fortnite are now giving temporary collabs to creators. Imagine you're a Pollo fan and he finally gets that collab in the game. You're super excited and can't wait to support him. Then, you'll learn the truth. He's just a sprite that doesn't even spawn, and the only way to get it was by stream sniping him on Twitch.
Imagine.
They had to wipe out a pro player, which obviously never goes well. On the bright side, it meant Polo got a ton of attention and viewers to his channel that he wouldn't normally, but this was temporary support, because they ended up releasing the sprite in a chest anyway. It's also kind of sad, while other pro players and YouTubers were able to get permanent icon skins in the game that could come back at any time, these sprite collabs are small and won't be around for much longer. You've got Vinny Jr. and Summer Batman getting their own bundles along with the sprite, but when it comes to YouTubers like Burnt Peanut and Pollo, they're just one of the quick items that people will stop caring about within a week. And it just feels weird when you look at it that way. But this list of problems have been growing larger and larger. You see, sprites hit their lowest point so far when Fortnite's greed started to show itself. They realized that sprites are super successful right now and are using it against us, forcing us into other modes to boost their numbers.
What? Oh yeah,
They're
reload.
already trying this with box fights, like when they locked a free pickaxe behind 700 wins, and now they're making John Wick exclusive to reload. You could argue that it's a cool idea, and it
No, but can't you just equip it and bring it into Battle Royale?
stops that whole grind that people were complaining about with chess and BR. But at the end of the day, Fortnite hasn't come up with a clever way to make it fun. They've just herded us all into a different mode to do the same grind we were already doing. And it's not even for our benefit or to make the collecting more enjoyable, it's literally just to make their other modes look successful. Now look, when it comes to the bigger picture, sprites have been an incredible addition to Fortnite.
Yeah, that's
They
true.
brought people together, friends are now having fun competitions to see who has a better collection, and honestly, they have been a huge positive to Fortnite. But it does feel like Epic are starting to split their players in half right now. Think about it, even the reaction to this video is gonna be 50-50. Half of you will think that sprites are too easy to get, and the other half will think that the average fan is being left behind. Most of the sprites in the game are too rare to find, that's a fact, but the question is that a good thing or not? Well, normally, who would care? Personally, there should be sprites that really are just unattainable. It always gives you something to chase after, but
Yeah.
it also has some pretty nasty side effects. Whether that's the eBay scams, or the problem that Fortnite brought on themselves, which is locking rewards behind the sprite mastery
Bro's not playing
quests.
Fortnite. I'm playing Fortnite
You
after
can't
this.
make sprites super rare and make us rely on finding them for free cosmetics. It's just unfair. Especially because when it really comes down to it, no one knows if all these hours spent collecting these things will even be worth it. We are less than 1 month away
Yeah.
from the end of Fortnite Season 3, and it looks like your sprites may be deleted when this happens,
If that happens, I'm actually not playing anymore.
forcing you to start all over again. There's even a rumor the entire feature may be gone, but there is some hope out there. Fortnite's still running their sprite contest to get fan designs in the game, and this still needs to happen. Plus, many of the beloved features have always come back. So even if sprites vanish in August, Fortnite will find a way to give them a permanent home. They did it for the Simpsons collab, and they did it for the OG season. But I'm truly thinking they will stay. That's exactly why I'm
I hope they stay.
making this video. If and when sprites become a permanent feature in Fortnite, there's a huge list of problems that are threatening the entire thing. But Fortnite needs to fix the burnout of grinding, the cosmetics locked behind challenges, and the boring power hours to really make it work. The clock is ticking until August 20th, so will our sprites
Wait, the new season is August 20th? That's in 12 days,
survive?
15 days, what am I saying? W video, bro.